everything goes out the window and you just kind of play.
Let's go.
This is the same 4 lines that I played high school in, same 4 lines that I played university in. You don't kind of think about all the external stuff when you're like focused on the game. Playing against better, talented guys all summer, every day. Like, what can you do to separate yourself from your competition?
Yeah.
Eat healthy, you're gonna be in better shape, or you're gonna jump a little bit higher, you're gonna shoot a little bit better.
You're living every kid's dream. How does that feel?
I'm so blessed to be able to play basketball every day, but like all that can be taken away in like the snap of your fingers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Two Fries Podcast, aka the #1 podcast in Winnipeg, where we document the rise and stardom of Winnipeg's talent and personalities. The studio's changed, the place is different, and today's a little different because we're at the Canada Life Center. Huge shout out to the Sea Bears for letting us do this. And today we're sitting down with Simon Hildebrandt, a player on the Sea Bears who talks about his journey throughout basketball, playing in elementary, middle school, and so much more. The mindset behind it, the practices, get into everything. On a personal note, this is insane. Huge shout out to the Sea Bears once again. And it turns out 83.4% of people are not subscribed, which I don't get why. Because look at what we're doing together. Look at what we're doing as a city. So if you get a chance, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next week. Holy expletive. Holy shit. Look at where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Canada Life. Archdeep, take it away.
This feeling doesn't get, I don't know, I got chills, bro. But we're here with the man himself, Simon. Please welcome Simon.
Simon Hildebrandt. Simon Hildebrandt.
Glad to be here, glad to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Of course.
Does this, I know we already asked you like multiple times, but man, you're living the dream of every kid. Professional basketball, you're sitting center court with a couple of guys talking about your life. What does it feel like?
I mean, it's great. Like this, you always forget how like unbelievable it is to play in like this kind of, especially you go on the road, playing the other teams, playing smaller gyms, like smaller crowds, and you kind of come home and like it never gets old. Especially like being from Winnipeg, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just being able to do this at home is just unbelievable.
Simon, you're living every kid's dream. You're literally living from every kid that's played hoops in their front yard to at school to intramurals to going up and making teams, getting cut from teams, to now playing at the biggest stage in our city. You're living every kid's dream. How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, like I was one of those kids, right? Like I was always playing in my backyard, playing high school, playing club, always like aspiring to play at the highest level I can. And you know, I made it, and it's kind of, hopefully it can inspire other kids who are in Winnipeg shooting around outside to make it this kind of level.
Did you ever get cut growing up from a basketball team?
I don't think so. I mean,
nah,
like,
he's just too good, bro.
playing in Winnipeg when you're my height, right? Even if you're not good, like they take a chance on you at least. So, but yeah.
I'm sure you'll get this question asked a lot more, and you probably already have already. But where does this basketball journey start for Simon?
I think I first started playing like grade 5 or 6. Yeah. I played junior Bison's club basketball. All the way through, and then I went to like NBCI, right? Played high school all the way through. Then where I would say it really starts to get interesting is when kind of COVID hit. I'm just gonna go off on the question.
Let's go. Let's go. Winner story.
You're on a podcast.
Yeah, so grade 11 years, kind of when COVID hit. Yeah. And I was a big volleyball player as well, and I was not looking to leave Winnipeg. And I kind of had the opportunity to go play at a school called Royal Crown in Toronto. Like COVID was happening, I was like, hey, I don't know if there's going to be a season. I kind of got to commit and go all in with basketball. So I left during COVID for my grade 12 year, played basketball at this school in the OSBA, like an Ontario league. Yeah. I didn't play any games, but I got a ton better and kind of opened my eyes. Like here in Winnipeg, my whole life, I don't think I ever boxed out once. Yeah. I'm 6'9", decently athletic. I'm playing in Winnipeg. I'm the tallest guy, can jump, grab, rebound. Yeah. Down there, I was like the 5th tallest guy on my team. Yeah. Right? So if I just try to out-jump a guy who's 2 inches taller than me, longer arms than me, and more athletic, it's not going to work. Right? So it's just kind of a real eye-opener to, hey, like, there is more outside of Winnipeg than basketball. So just playing it there was huge. I got a lot better. And then that summer, I played AAU for a team called U Play Canada and like the Nike circuit. Yeah. So I'm playing against all these like future NBA guys, and again, eye-opening experience because I felt like I could compete on that level. And like you see on Instagram all the time, all these stars have all these like huge plays, and then you play them in real life, and it's like they have one or two unbelievable plays, but other than that, they're very like down to earth. They're just like me and you, basketball players playing at this level.
Yeah.
So that was real eye-opening. Then my goal was always to go play Division I.
Yeah.
So then I did like a postgraduate year, like a grade 13.
Yeah.
In Woodstock, Connecticut.
Yeah.
So I had my year in the U.S. there.
Yeah.
Again, like I just learned so much about just like playing in the U.S.
Yeah.
I was playing more of like a 4-5 role, so had to be a lot more physical, learn like different skills, and then ultimately came back home to play at the U of M. And my journey was unique. All these different stops that I may not have seen while I was there, but it kind of shaped me to be the player who I am today. And then obviously more growth through the U of M the last 2 years, and just being able to play in the CBL last year and this year. And yeah, that's kind of my journey in a nutshell, I'll say.
That's great. Where did the work ethic start? It's like, obviously there's talent, but when talent doesn't work hard, there's got to be something else that takes over, right? So where did you start learning that?
So I obviously went to NBCI, and my dad taught at River East, which is more north, and I live kind of south of downtown. So my dad would always be at school super early, so he would drop me off super early. Class started at 8:30. I'd be dropped off at 7:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
And NBCI is a grade 6 to 12 school. So from grade 6 and 7, I would kind of just do nothing in the mornings. Like I'm there for an hour, 15, whatever. And then I started to just go to the gym. Our custodian would leave the basketballs out for me. I would just fool around in my the regular clothes I'm wearing to school that day. And then Matt Dick, who was my varsity coach and is now the founder of Atlas Basketball. And I would call him my basketball skills trainer. I still do a lot of work with him now. He would come in the mornings at 7:15 when I got there and say, hey, like, why don't you actually try to get better? Instead of just fooling around. Like, bring a change of clothes, break a sweat, like, let's work. Send from grade 7 and 8 and on in the mornings, I would come, I'd get dropped off an hour before, I'd get like a 45-minute on-court individual workout in, then I'd shower, and then I'd be at school. And it was almost like I was there anyways. It wasn't like it was, and so that's kind of where it started. And then I kind of realized I started to get better and better and kind of fall in love with it over time. And then eventually when I got to the point where like I realized I was good and I could maybe kind of go somewhere with this thing, is when it kind of all work ethic keeps going. That's definitely where it started. And I give so much credit to Matt too for giving me that little nudge when I was so young to helping me get where I am today.
But when you started, you were just playing for fun, right? Like you were bored.
Exactly. Exactly.
Before school and just trying to hoop around. Did you feel like when Matt was like, hey, let's actually get you in the gym, did you feel like, no, like I just want to do this for fun. Like I didn't really want to, I was bored. Like did those thoughts go to your mind, or were you like, honestly, I'm just going to put my 100%
I don't even remember. I just kind of thought, hey, like why not, right? If you have somebody willing to give up their time to help you, well, why not, right? Like take advantage of your opportunities.
Yeah. What was it particularly about basketball? Like why not another sport?
But yeah, like I said, like I was a big volleyball player as well.
Yeah.
Like my mom played volleyball, my dad played basketball, so I kind of had both parents kind of played both of those. But I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with it. I don't really know how else to explain it. Like I just love having the ball in my hand, shooting, scoring, playing with your teammates, all that. Like it's just such a great game. I don't really know how to.
It's the same thing for me with soccer, man. It's like when you step on the field, there's a point where, or even at the court, it's a point where like your brain just shuts off, and it's like the only thing that you have to focus on for the little bit, right? It's like the feeling that you can't describe.
Right. And like I was someone who played as many sports as I could growing up, right? Like I played hockey, I played soccer, I played basketball, I played volleyball. And even now, like I'm getting into golf the last couple of years. I'm getting into pickleball. I'm
great sport.
doing this. Like I love that. I love sports, and I love the competitiveness and the team aspects of it. It's just it's awesome. Like if I can play as many sports as I can for as long as I can at the highest level I can, like that's it's a dream come true.
Especially in like middle school to high school, a lot of time outside of actual work, maybe in classroom, for many people is spent doing extracurriculars, doing other things, playing for these sports, and parents are driving kids here, and like going, like that just keeps life busy, and honestly puts your mind towards something as well, and you learn so many skills through that.
Exactly.
Do you remember any of like the moments when you first started playing, maybe even like in middle school to high school? What was your game like then versus maybe what it is now? Were you good right out of the gate? Like you obviously
No.
had like what
I remember. I know the exact moment when I realized that I was a good basketball player. So I was trying out for the 15U provincial team as a year younger guy.
Okay.
And so usually they have 2 days where everybody can go, and then they'll cut it down to like 150 kids come try out, and they'll cut it down to like 30 after 2 days, right? So I was a year younger. I didn't even want to try out. I was like, I'm not going to make it. There's no point in going.
Yeah.
And at this time, I didn't think I was very good.
Yeah.
And so my dad was like, no, just go. Like, who cares if they cut you? It's a great experience for next year. So I go and I play and we have an out-of-town wedding on the second day. So I knew I was only going to make the first day. So I go that first day. I played pretty well, whatever, and I tell the guy in charge, hey, like, I'm not here the next day. He's like, all right, well, thanks for coming later. And then the next day I don't go. And I'm just like, all right, I went my day. I'm good. My dad's like, well, no, they didn't tell you not to come back for the next day. And I was like, yeah, but they didn't tell me to come back, all this. And I really didn't want to go. I was like, oh, they didn't like invite me back. And he's like, well, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to show up and they'll be like, you're here anyway. Why not? Like, they're not just going to send you home.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, fine. So I go, again, I play well, and they invite me back the next day. And I just keep going. And then like they keep 12 roster players and 3 practice players. I'm like, all right, if I can just maybe get one of those practice spots, it'd be great for my summer.
Yeah.
And another week of practice, and I made the team. And I was just kind of shook. I was like, wow, like I just didn't see it coming. And like, credit to my dad for like pushing me to keep going to these tryouts. And then we practiced. Provincial team was kind of a grueling summer, right? You're going 6 days a week from maybe end of May all the way to August. And it was a grind. I was definitely like our 12th man. Like I was probably one of the worst on the team for sure. Then the end of the season happens, this provincial team season in August, and then I kind of go back to school in September, and I'm playing my own age again. It's my high school buddies and my club team. And when I first came back to there, I was just so dominant. And it kind of, you don't understand that playing against better, talented guys all summer, every day, just you adapt and you just learn so much and you get so much better without realizing. Then I kind of went back and I'm like, man, like I'm way better than this guy who was just as good as me or better than me a couple months ago. And that's when I kind of realized it and I started to kind of put it together.
Yeah.
But you've been doing that even now. If you took a look at playing Bisons and then playing for the Sea Bears, you went from, I guess, university level to then the pros for the summer, and then you went right back into the Bison season.
And now I'm a little bit older, I'd say more mature to kind of understand like what a fantastic opportunity I have in front of me here. Just to be able to be a young college guy and just be in this atmosphere playing with these guys who are where I eventually aspire to be. It's just like you can't simulate this kind of anywhere. And then I go back to college and apply what I learned, and I can still do this for a couple more years, so I'm excited to see where it takes me.
Yeah. So what does your typical day look like for training? Like, are you waking up at 6 a.m. going for a run and then like?
No. So it's tough. I think last year I didn't do a very good job. I didn't really know what to expect. Like this year I know what to expect coming in. So last year, a lot of our practices, like you're in the middle of a season, and for a lot of guys, this is their off season. So they're giving up like most guys played September, October to March, April. That's where you make most of your overseas money. You're playing in your main team. This is a summer league. So practices aren't like, not crazy hard like a college practice. You're playing every 3 days. A lot of it's kind of like game prep. So last year, I would say I didn't do a very good job of trying to get my other work in, like my skill work and my weightlifting, all this other stuff. Whereas this year, I feel like I'm more prepared. Like I'll wait, like my daily schedule obviously is a little bit different every day, but like I'll try to find times to lift at least 2 or 3 times a week. And I'll have my practice here and still try to find times to like get working with Matt Dick when I can in the evenings and just try to like go for a run here or there to try to keep myself in better shape, right? Even when I'm playing 38 minutes a game and here I'm playing 20, right? So just find ways to like push yourself and be in the best shape you can, and ultimately it'll help.
How did that routine change over the years? So after high school, how did that change when you went to college, when you finally got over there?
It's nice, because in college, like you can obviously like pick your own schedule, right? So you can predetermine, hey, I'm cutting out this block where I'm going to lift every day. Or I'm going to get treatment during this block every Tuesday, Thursday. I'm going to lift here. I'm going to shoot here. So yeah, you can build around your schedule.
Yeah, it's different.
When you've been working for something your whole life, like this is every kid's dream, like we keep saying, right? What was the moment like when you got the phone kind of like, hey, Simon, like pull up to the Sea Bears, like let's go, you're on.
Yeah, like it's obviously as soon as I found out like Winnipeg was getting a CBL team, it like immediately became my first goal, right? Like, can I play on this team? And that started with me having a good college year, my first year. Yeah. So kind of every day was like working towards this. Yeah. And kind of once that happened, it was like, all right, well now I have it. Now I got to work to play. Right. Like I kind of made the team, but how can I contribute? How can I make the most I can out of this summer? Yeah, like it just kept going.
Do you remember the moment? Like the actual moment when did you get a call, an email? What was that? What was that like?
I don't really remember like the specific moment, but it's kind of like I had been in like conversations with like Coach Mike Taylor a little bit, like reaching out. I know he like reached out to Kirby, and I had some preliminary conversations with him about, hey, like, you know, like I'm gonna be the GM and head coach, and obviously like we're interested in you, like just putting out feelers, like asking around. And I kind of once I heard like could be a possibility. Is when I kind of like started to maybe see it could happen. Yeah.
Did you ever like manifest it, like just put it out in the world and then like let it happen, or you effortlessly like kind of like just always work towards it?
Kind of just always work towards it. Like you don't want to get complacent. Like so many people once they reach their goal, you slow down. Like this is just the first of many steps, hopefully. Yeah. So.
Is your mindset more of the sense that if that's the goal, I'm going to go get it, sort of? How do you look at a goal that's maybe a lot of people aspire to be, right? Especially when you're playing in college, there's probably other college guys that also want to play for the Sea Bears and even so forth in other leagues and play basketball at a high level. But how do you know that you're the one who can achieve it?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I work hard and I feel like I've had success at this level, which is a huge advantage for me. But it's always good to have people like coming for your spot, right? Like I know if I go back to school and I have a terrible year and I just get, hey, like cocky and I play for the Sea Bears, I don't have to work as hard because I know I'm going to be back, all this stuff, then that's terrible, right? Somebody can just come up and take your spot. Everything's a 1-year contract, or everything's a redraft next year, right? So like after this summer, I no longer play for the Sea Bears. It's not like I know I'm coming back next summer. It's a whole new season. You got to prove yourself again, right? So that's kind of the nice way this league works, right? Like it's never like you're always working to get that spot back.
Is there a deeper why? Like I always like to get into the mindset of like why people do things, or you know, why you pick up the basketball, and like is there a deeper why to why? Like what is your why? Like why are you doing this?
I love it, man. It's just fun. Like this, I don't think it's that deep. Like I love what you do. Yeah. Or like I love playing basketball, and if I have the chance to play basketball and make some money out of it for as long as I can, and not have to work a real job until I'm in my mid-30s, like that's the goal. See how far this thing could take me.
Of course. And what better rush than having 10,000 people yell? Can we talk about the home opener for the Sea Bears?
For sure.
The first a week ago almost. What was that like? You knew you were getting redrafted. You're coming back. Talk me through the day.
Picture perfect, right? Like, kind of had like home opener goes right down the wire, and I think the target score and the elim time in this league is such an awesome way to end the game. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the target score ending.
Could you explain it?
So basically, the typical basketball game, you play 4 quarters. When the buzzer ends, the game is over. So in the CBL, how they've done since the start is the first whistle under 4 minutes is an immediate timeout. And you enter target score time. So whichever team is winning, you would add 9 to that score, and that's the score you play to. So for example, if the first whistle, a team is up 100 to 95, then you play to 109. It's the first team to score 109 wins. And there's no game clock, there's only a shot clock.
Damn.
So it allows for these huge comebacks. I think last year, like the record, somebody was down 17 entering target score time and came back and won. And they ended the game on the 26-8 run. Right? So in our game in the home opener, right, you got 10,000 people playing the defending champs. And we were down 5 entering the target time. The target score was 107. And it was 106-106. and they went to the free throw. A very good one of their best shooters goes to the free throw line, and the crowd is going crazy, and he misses both.
Yeah.
And we come down, and Alex Campbell, who is 999 career CBL points, drills the winner, and he's the first Canadian to ever hit 1,000 points. And we have a huge comeback win in our home opener with a sold-out crowd against the defending champs.
Beautiful.
In what couldn't have been a better way. And it just every game ends on a made basket. Like in the NBA and other leagues, once in every 15, 20 games you see a game winner.
Yeah.
Right? And it's electric.
That's interesting.
Every game in the CBL is a game winner.
Put some pressure on you as
Exactly.
well. Like
and
the pressure.
guys fall apart, right? You can't simulate that kind of pressure to hit 2 free throws. You just got to hit 1 to win. Whole crowd's going crazy.
Ooh.
It's easy to hit free throws when you're up 5 and there's 20 seconds left and they intentionally foul you.
Yeah.
And there's none of that in this league, right? Like if you're up 15, you can't just hold the ball and target score. You have to score.
So you have to score 9.
You still go. And then if you're losing, you got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You get a couple tough shots, you kind of get hot, and then you get closer, and then everybody starts rallying, and they have all the momentum, and it's a great way to end basketball games. And I hope other leagues in the world kind of adapt it. They did the NBA All-Star Game does that.
Yes, the All-Star Game. Yeah.
Right. So.
That's crazy.
I mean, I can't even imagine the pressure that you go back to that timeout. The first bell rings or the whistle blows, and then you're like, guys, we just got to score 9 more. We just got to score 9 more. It's 3 threes.
It's tough, right? Everybody wants to be the hero, right?
Yeah.
True.
And then you get kind of teams, if you're up by 6 or 7 guys, maybe take shots that aren't great shots because you want to be the guy to hit the game winner, and you want to be, and then the other team, maybe who plays together, can get some momentum. It's so tough, and so even the greatest players, everything goes out the window, and you just kind of play, and it's awesome.
So how do you deal with that pressure? Performing at the top, you have to be on the top of your game every game because people are sitting right there and watching you. Make sure you hit that basketball. How do you deal with that pressure?
Come see
Yeah, honestly, I feel like when I'm in the game, it's the 4 lines in the court, and everything else is kind of
off,
gone. I would say, once you're in the game, I'm just thinking about the game, and I don't even think about what's going on outside. The only time I kind of really felt it, I think, was last year. I started in our playoff game, and they opened up the upper bowl.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the first, maybe 2 minutes was still kind of looking up and feeling that kind of surrealness that, wow, I'm really here. And then after that, you're just playing basketball. This is the same 4 lines that I played high school and same 4 lines that I played university, and it's the same ball. It's still 5-on-5, same hoop, free throw line, same distance, right? And it's just, you don't kind of think about all the external stuff when you're focused on the game.
That's insane.
But I imagine myself, you have those goals of you're playing on this field, but then there's that FIFA World Cup, final game, I'm scoring that winner. But it's moments that you live for these, right? What's the feeling of coming down that tunnel and holy crap, this is 10,000 people in this thing.
Yeah, it's, especially being from Winnipeg.
Right.
Of
course.
Yeah. It's just a feeling I'll never get over. I know talking to guys like Chad and Jared, who are both Winnipeg guys who have played 9-10 years of professional basketball.
Yeah.
And obviously, like Chad played last year, so maybe more him last year, more Jared this year. These guys have played 9-10 years of professional basketball, but not once played in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Right? They have guys who are their friends and family who maybe haven't seen them play since college or high school.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just, I can't even realize how lucky I have it to be able to play at home instead of them being played all over the world and then be able to come home.
Yeah.
Do you have a moment throughout your entire career, it doesn't have to be like the CBS journey, or any basketball game that you remember very clearly, either for a positive reason or a negative reason, that maybe you did very well in, or you just shot poorly in, or it just got to your head, or you were on top of the world? Do you have a basketball game or a moment that stands out throughout your career?
I don't know if I have any one specific game that would kind of define me. You always remember the tough losses, right?
Yeah.
Anytime a season ends, those ones always stick a little longer, right? Yeah, but there's always the next game, right?
Yeah.
You can't dwell on a loss for for too long. I always like the saying where it's like, don't let them beat you twice.
Yeah.
Right. And especially in youth sports, like in Canada West, like our conference, you play a lot of back-to-backs, right? We play every Friday, Saturday. So if you lose like a really tough game on Friday and you let it get in your head and let it bother you all game Saturday, then you're going to lose both, right? So it's always just being able to kind of clear your head and, hey, you know what? They got the best of us. Let's get them back. Kind of thing. But I don't know if any specific individual games kind of stick out. Maybe my first ever college game.
What was it?
We played a preseason game at Brock University.
Okay. And what about that game was something that? So
it's kind of my first time playing it at that level. Like even like my first game last year, just in the home opener, playing at Winnipeg, just like not specific details about the game, but just being able to just kind of new chapter, fresh start.
As much as this is a sport, it's also a business at the end of the day, right? People are coming in, they're paying $50-$30. People on the court are paying more than that, right? To watch you play. How does the business side affect, or how does it come to the players' levels? Like, do you have to be worried about, hey, like I have to perform for these people, like, and if don't, I'm not selling tickets?
I mean, I don't really worry about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just kind of come out and play. And obviously, if you work hard, you can trust the work that you've put in that you'll perform.
Right.
It's not too much of an issue. And obviously, if you play well, guys believe in you. And I think like we've only been together like a couple of weeks now, but like I love our team. And if one guy is like struggling to perform, like I have total confidence that he'll be able to turn it around. And like I'm not too worried about the business side of things, especially like yet at my point in my career. I'm still just taking it all in, trying to have fun while I play.
And it's also we were able to catch the tail end of your guys' practice when we walked in, but these practices get intense, right? Is there a moment maybe playing against people at a high level that practices do get intense, for that you guys are going at each other because everyone's got that competitive nature?
Like training camp is such a great opportunity for like not only myself but like the other youth sports college guys on our team, right? Like just being able to play against these professional guys and go at it for a couple hours every day for a couple of days is just, you get so much better. And last year I'd say I kind of came in like as open-minded as I could, like how much can I learn playing this year. Now this year I could kind of come in, hey, you know, I have a year of experience, I've been through training camp, been through a season, how can I use that to my advantage?
Right.
But yeah, just playing against these older guys in practice and more training camp, because in the season our practices are less like live and opportunities where guys could get hurt or anything like that. But yeah, training camp, just being able to play against these guys, going 100%, like you get so much better. Like I was saying before, playing against these older guys, you may not even realize it. Then you go back to playing like your own level, you kind of, then you see it. The game just moves slower.
Do you have to prove yourself to these guys at all? Especially because you're coming in, you're the younger guy. Like, are they gonna pick on you? Are they're gonna show you like, hey buddy, like you're not supposed to be here. Like, I'm gonna show you.
I don't know if guys like my own teammates maybe like, I feel like I played really well in training camp and kind of proved myself right away. But you kind of, as a younger guy, you always have that little bit of a chip on your shoulder. Like maybe guys think, oh, like you're just here to learn. When in my mind, I feel like I'm here to play. Or I'm here to contribute. But I don't think anybody's like, I feel like we're like such a close-knit group of guys and everybody's like rooting for each other's success.
Of course.
Like I don't feel like there's any animosity between anybody here.
Did you ever have your what if moment? Like, or no, sorry, what now? Sorry, that's the moment. Like what now moment in terms of, yo, like I'm playing in the biggest stadium in Winnipeg, in my hometown, for my home team. What now? Have you had that moment yet?
I don't know. I would say not yet. I mean, just kind of like in that home opener, it kind of like really opens your eyes. But like I still got like at least 2-3 years left of college, right? I still know what I'm doing. I still got 3 years left in my plan.
That's insane.
And then maybe after that, I'll kind of have to figure out what I want to do next.
That's insane how you're just like, this is just like a summer league and I'm gonna go back to uni and then, like do classes and stuff. Like, what are you thinking when you're sitting in these classes? Like, what's going through your mind?
I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying to get my degree. I don't even worry about anybody else in there.
What's your degree in?
I'm in business. I haven't picked a major yet.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have to do that soon. I'm trying to graduate in 4 years, so I'm halfway done my degree.
But would you not like, yo, like, you're doing business right now, man. Like
this is business.
This is business at the end of the day, right?
I mean, yeah.
Like, do you really need that degree?
I need a degree. The ball will stop bouncing at some point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, I won't have to use that degree for as long, push it off as long as I can.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I really would like to be a college graduate,
Yeah.
kind of get that degree, and
100%.
yeah, like you never know, anything can happen. Like I'm so blessed to be able to play basketball every day, and be set up to make a living off of it.
Yeah.
But like all that can be taken away in like the snap of your fingers, right? So I have this opportunity to play basketball in college and get my degree. Like I'd be a fool to not do that.
What do you think about the current style that basketball is played? I'm sure different leagues are different, NBA versus the Canadian League. And like the European leagues, they also, like we talked about this a little bit with Chad as well when he was on a pod, but the style and the training that kind of goes in versus like American versus European, what do you see like in terms of the world of basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played anywhere really other than Canada and the US for a little bit. But yeah, like I know the NBA and versus like overseas in Europe, they're two totally different games.
Yeah.
Right? Like you see the NBA has all these different rules that they put in for the game to be it's entertainment. Right? Like they have all these rules that make the game higher scoring with more dunks and more flashy plays. Whereas in Europe they have less of that. It's more about like the fundamentals and stuff like that. So that's what you see all the time. Like you put these powerhouse NBA teams together, like Team USA, you got all these stars who like individually are probably way better than all these European guys they're playing, but yeah, it's a close game.
Yeah.
But if they were to play NBA rules, NBA guys would smoke them because it's completely different. Yeah, it's kind of cool to be able to see all the same game, just different versions of it. I'd say.
Does that come down into the way that you train as well? Like being a bigger guy, are you kind of narrowed down to, okay, you're only gonna be a center, or you're only a point guard, so you're only gonna train in terms of that, versus being maybe more well-rounded and being able to do all that?
I've been so lucky with my coaching my whole life. So my dad coached me growing up. My dad was a big believer in everybody does everything, right? So a lot of kids like my height when they were young are probably just throwing the post, and then they grow up to be 6'3", and you can't dribble or shoot, and maybe like on the NBA level. But if you want to play college, if you're 6'3", you got to be a guard, right? There's no 6'3" centers playing college, right? And then, I went on to, again, work out with Matt Dick. Again, he worked at me as a wing. Like I work on my handle, I work on shooting, all these other things. And then I played, he was my high school coach as well. Then just through club, I played for a French guy named Hervé Vincent, who was huge in just the development of everything. On our team, the point guards would do post-up stuff with the bigs, and the bigs would do dribbling and shooting with the point guards. Like everybody did everything. He was my coach for like 3 years, and he was huge. He was kind of the first guy that really started to develop me as just a purely all-around player. I played on a different junior bison team with Marlon Krause, who again was a big believer in everybody shoots threes, everybody dribbles, everybody guards everybody. And then, then I got to the point in my career where I was just already had that baseline so much higher than anybody else who didn't have that kind of coaching growing up. So I was just so fortunate to have these people around me as a kid to kind of mold me into the player I am today, and not just stick me as a low post.
Are there any particular drills that you'll do in practice that you feel like have a direct translation onto the court?
A lot of my training that I do with Matt is just game realistic. I think it was Jamal Crawford once had like a quote, like he's one of the best dribblers in the NBA, and like you can't simulate, like a cone doesn't simulate a 6'7" super athletic defender.
100%.
Right? So when I do a lot of my training, it's less just dribbling through cones, more like 3-on-3 stuff, like with defense, and just simulating live situations. And I just think that's the best way you can train, right? Like simulate game situations, right? It's different to practice finishing layups one on nobody versus one on a super athletic 6'10" guy coming over on the help side. Right? So if you can practice with people coming over from the help side and actual contact, it's way better.
Yeah. And then I think that's where what you said before and what you've been saying through this podcast, playing against those better guys.
Exactly.
Right? Having that experience and learning from them is probably even because if you just play against your friends or the people that you're good at, eventually you may outshine them, or you may get to a level where you know where this person's abilities. Oh, this person can't go left, so I'm just going to force them left.
Right.
Right. But versus you changing it up, playing with people who have constantly elevated their game, you're at a point where you're elevating your game as well.
Right.
In terms of advice for someone who may want to be in the position, right, who's shooting hoops in their front yard right now, and they're listening to this and they're like, man, I want to play, I need a shot. What's a piece of advice you'd give them?
You just gotta be able to outwork people, right? Like I'm so lucky that I'm 6'9", and the reality is like there's not a lot of people are, especially coming from Winnipeg.
Short king.
You gotta have some other thing. Like what separates you?
Yeah.
Are you a little bit more athletic than the other guy your height? Are you a little bit of a better shooter than the guy your height? Are you just gonna hustle harder than and be a better defender? Like how can you separate yourself? Are you gonna eat healthy? Are you gonna be in better shape? Are you gonna jump a little bit higher? Are you gonna shoot a little bit better? Like what can you do to separate yourself from your competition?
Yeah.
Right? Like I said, like I'm lucky. Like I'm 6'9", I'm one of very few in Manitoba and Winnipeg playing basketball. Plus I had all this great coaching to help me get here. But yeah, if you can separate yourself from your competition would be my advice.
You're very humble.
Yeah.
You just got lucky, bro. You've been working, bro. Don't put yourself down like that. You've been working. You've been working.
Is there anything that we haven't touched on this podcast that you think we should have touched on, or if you were to walk away, is there anything that you want to talk about before we do?
I think we covered most of it, man. We covered my basketball story, and that's it, man.
What does the future look like for you?
NBA?
I'm just year by year,
hearing it.
right? Focus on this season, win a championship here, take what I learned back to school next year, and go from there.
Let's go.
Right? Just don't want to look too far into the future.
Beautiful.
Respect that. Well, thank you so much, brother, for giving us your time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for listening and viewing. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Go check out Simon. We'll tag everything in the description. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
That's a wrap.
Sweet.